were in jackets last night, and now, I mean, it's been hot all day. Sweaty hot all day.
Before we kick off this cap has some important. I look like you've got my top hat on.
I quite like it.
Actually, weirdly suits you more than me.
Yeah.
No, there's an issue. You can't take that's a very expensive top hat.
Okay, I won't take it, but it might suit me. But the hat it's all right on you. It actually fits you, despite it being really quite tiny. Yeah, well,
there's actually a backstory behind this. So this cap is what essentially you think football, right? You think that you play for England, you get gifted a cap, you make an appearance, etc., etc. The jockeys in the derby also get gifted a cap. I feel like they should have one of them umbrella things on. Do you know what? Yeah, it's right, one of these flat ones. Anyway, this was due to be given to Mr. McDonough, who was riding Southern Lights. Southern Lights was actually a horse I tipped up today. Very disappointing. Joseph O'Brien's runner. We had Joseph on last night, if you remember as well. Now, this is his derby cap. But unfortunately, he didn't take it home because he's actually ridden in three. Well, this was his third derby. There was a mistake.
About it, though, wasn't he?
He was
very nice about it.
So somebody along the line went and gifted him this and said, "Oh, well, this is your first cap in the derby." And he was like, "Well, no, actually, I've already ridden in two."
So Chris now an honorary derby rider.
Yeah, it could have been his hat trick cap though. I'm going to take you off from it.
Yeah,
got ruffle the old hair.
Like this. It's quite hot.
And in front of us as well is the trophy. This is your derby trophy. This is the winning owners trophy.
It is, but
it takes up our whole table.
It takes up our whole table, and actually they get a replica of this, a much smaller one, so they can't actually take this home, because I don't know if you've tried to lift it, but it's actually really heavy, so they don't take this one home. But that's
just two-man job.
The derby trophy. It's pretty cool. We got it right here.
It's actually quite nice.
I like it. It's been a great day.
Good, yeah, it has been. Let's start the day off the way that we here at the racecourse started there. So we're going to try and bring you a bit of life to your living rooms right now. When we started the day, we got here, we had the Red Devils, right? They are try and help me describe this. They're a parachuting
regiment, I want to say. I might be really wrong there.
That's a great word.
But they
performed
like the Red Arrows, but in parachutes.
Yeah, essentially. And they are like the Red Arrows of parachutes. They performed.
They're all military as well.
Yeah.
They're military.
They're amazing. They performed, and we want to actually just show you what they did before the racing kicked off today here at Epsom. So watch this and enjoy it. That was impressive.
What a way to start the day. And I tell you what's more impressive about that is they will normally jump from 3,000 feet, but today they jump from 4,000 feet. And also here is unbelievably narrow to land on. And it's actually the narrowest they are allowed to land on. So they went from higher and the narrowest it is. And it's actually quite a skill to do. Not I know I've jumped out of a plane.
You're an adrenaline junkie.
I've jumped out of a plane, but in tandem.
And you've done a bungee jump.
And I've done a bungee jump. And I've done a wing walk.
No, it's not for me. No, that's a bit too much.
We were discussing earlier. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, well, I didn't. Me and Ollie, it was funny fact. Me and Ollie were actually wandering. Ollie Bow works on ITV Racing, who was my co-star in The Social Stable. We were walking down the home straight, completely unaware that this was going on above us.
They come over
but no one's coming to land yet. So we were walking down. Someone screamed at us down the fairway saying, like, get off.
Yeah.
All because Ollie wanted a photo.
Wow. That's quite something.
I had to get a photo for his Instagram. But yeah, Lee Crudgington was the jump master. He did an amazing job. What a way to start the show. That was good fun.
It was amazing. And then what a day we actually had
with
the Cazoo Derby.
Yeah, an amazing derby. This now allows me to welcome Ed Chamberlain. Ed, second time on the on this after hours show, and it's good to have you here. Where are you?
I've made it home. I'm home, which is lovely. And by the way, it's a track, not a fairway.
Did I say I didn't say fairway? I didn't say fairway. Did I say fairway?
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring you up, Ed. You really dubbed him in there. I wasn't going to mention that.
Ed, I'm thinking golf. I've got this golfing mentality about me, but it kind of is a fairway. I mean, it's quite lush and green and it's cut like a fairway.
To stop him though, Rosie, because I like calling him up though. I mean, look at you two. Is that the best looking presenting combination in television or what?
I mean,
I'm very worried.
Wow.
I need Chris to be making all sorts of mistakes.
No, I've actually dressed down.
Big hair's still there, Hughesy.
Oh, it's still here after I popped on this hat. No, I've actually dressed down. You know, that Britney Spears music video when she wears like a school uniform. I think I look a bit like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Rosie, are you a fan?
get back to Ed.
Rosie, are you a fan of? Are you a fan? Are you a fan? It was the low point of the weekend. We'll come to the derby in a minute, but the low point of the weekend was last night. In comes Chris Hughes in socks and sliders, followed by the person he called his co-star. Co-star? You're having a laugh. Ollie Bell. Guess what he's wearing? Shorts, socks, and sliders. Now, Rosie Tapner, you're a model. Are you a fan of socks and sliders on a man?
Be careful.
No, I'm sorry.
You're not?
I'm not. I don't even think you can pull it off.
See, I'm starting to think this is purely a girls' thing. I got absolutely hammered by everybody. All I was doing was just enjoying myself last night. It's been a tough day's work. I got back, had a beer, and I just couldn't take the heat off myself. Ed, I think you actually.
Why the socks?
I think at Royal Ascot, Ed will be sporting socks and sliders.
Yeah, Ed, let's see you in socks and sliders, and then I'll judge it.
Ed, what have you got on your feet now? Oh, here we go.
Sensible shoes.
Well, it's trainers in socks.
Some casual Vans, Susie. Just some casual Vans.
What's the plan for tonight, Ed? You barbecuing?
I've lit my little. Can you see it there? My little pizza oven.
What's on the menu?
My favourite snack. Other snacks are available, but I love a cheddar. Anyone who knows me on ITV knows I love a cheddar. Love a cheddar. The best snack out there. Others are available.
Ed, you've gone way down from that. That is the worst snack that there possibly could be.
They're pretty boring, aren't they?
So boring. I thought you were more fun than that.
Mixing it up. I love a cheddar. Anyway.
Let's get back to the derby.
Back to the derby. Ed, what do you before we run a VT of the derby in the closing stages? What a 2 days it's been here at Epsom. Obviously, we had the sunshine today. That makes a huge difference. We had 4,000 spectators in. It's obviously going to be more at Royal Ascot, but yeah, what a day we've had. What a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Listen, how lucky are we? I think, Rosie, your Instagram feed, I think, says it all. How lucky are we to be back in the race? Really, really privileged to be there for the last couple of days. It was spectacular to see and witness Frankie winning the Oaks yesterday. The biggest winning margin in the 242-year history of the Oaks was an I was there moment. And today it was just lovely to have that pomp and ceremony back. It was lovely to see human beings back on the race course. It was lovely to see winners being cheered back in from Hayley Turner. I loved Oh This Is Us today, and then we'll talk about the derby in a minute. But they all did a brilliant job. It was a privilege to be there at Epsom, and normality is returning. And the one thing I like to say tonight, Rosie and Chris, is that anyone watching today, and the sunshine's bad news for us, by the way, on ITV, because it means less people are watching. But there we go. Anyone at home today, come next year. 4th of June next year is going to be the biggest sporting event, certainly in racing, for a very long time, with Her Majesty the Queen there, celebrating the Platinum Jubilee. And I want to see that hill behind you packed with Brits waving flags, having picnics. Hopefully there might be a concert this time next year. The sponsors might give away a car. I'm trying to twist their arm. Which, in fact, I tipped Mojo Star each way in their box this afternoon, 150 to 1. So hopefully we're good friends with Cazoo now. And I want June the 4th next year, you guys, to just be an absolute monster. The day that the derby is back to where it used to be.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, you've summed it up. I think normality is the word. Just a sense of not freedom, but just a sense of like being back where we were a couple of years ago.
It did really feel like that today when we were in the winners' enclosure and when Adam Kirby came in, and it was absolutely packed around. And I know we only had 4,000, but actually around the winners' enclosure, it was packed, and it did feel normal. But we should have a look.
Yeah,
at it,
let's have a look at the derby. Let's have a look. Everybody, you may have joined us this evening. You may have missed the derby. Here's a lovely VT. Here's a closing stage of the derby today.
Gear Up has made it all so far under Ben Curtis from Youth Spirit second. Bolshoi Ballet is moving well in a good position on the outside. No excuses from there. A day are round the inside. Then Hurricane Lane, the tumble down now to Tatnam corner, and they swing for home. And it's Gear Up from Youth Spirit. Bolshoi Ballet is pushed up on the outside. A day are back on the inside from Mojo Star. Then Hurricane Lane. McSweeney is on the move now. And John Leaper making ground from the back of the field. Third Realm is outpaced. One Ruler begins to run on. Southern Lights is well beaten. And now Adayar goes on up the far side from Hurricane Lane. It's Godolphin 1 and 2. Bolshoi Ballet is not finding anything. And it's Adayar that leads the Derby field. 3 lengths clear. Mojo Star a massive outsider second. And Hurricane Lane in third. And it's going to be a shock result. Adayar and Adam Kirby. Adam Kirby for a first classic success. And Adayar is pouring on and striding clear to win the Cazoo Derby. Adayar wins by about 5 lengths. Mojo Star second. Hurricane Lane third. Tight for fourth between McSweeney and Third Realm. Followed by One Ruler. Then Youth Spirit, Bolshoi Ballet, well beaten John Leaper, Year Up and Southern Lights.
What a derby. Ed, what do you make of that derby from a racing perspective? I mean, you've obviously tipped up. I actually saw your Instagram story this morning. I saw your 1, 2, 3, and I was thinking Mojo Star. I don't know what you were on last night or what you were drinking, but I was thinking, God, you're miles off. But a good little shout there.
I was drinking some really inexpensive, horrible red wine last night. But there we go. Listen, we won't know how good a derby it is for weeks and months yet. My first reaction would be, Adayar beating Mojo Star. You know, the right horses weren't there, were they? Bolshoi Ballet had a nasty cut. Southern Lights, your selection, Hughesy, was an example of how not to come round Tapner Corner. It was all over the place. Max Sweeney not sighted. One Ruler disappointing. The other Godolphin horse is obviously running really well. The story was Adam Kirby, as Rosie rightly says. That was a brilliant ride, as Johnny Murter superbly described. You know, daring run up the rail. And for him, you know, the ups and downs of sport, everyone making a fuss about being jocked off John Leaper, that happens. It's always happened. He took it well, took it on the chin, and look what happens. He has the last laugh. And I think the telling picture from today will be every jockey coming out of the weighing room to greet Adam Kirby. I've not seen that before. That doesn't normally happen. That was really touching. And Haley talking about what a popular guy Adam Kirby is in the weighing room. Just fantastic. What a good guy won the derby. I think that's the story today. That's the feel I get anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was stood there when all the jockeys came out to cheer him on, and the atmosphere was just really lovely, and it felt like everyone was really behind him today. I actually feel like I had a little part to play in his win.
Go on.
Because I had a dream last night that him and Adayar won, and I told it before breakfast. And I believe that if you tell your dreams before breakfast, they come true.
So why did you back Hurricane Lane then?
Oh, no, I didn't. because I still, I was like, I'm not going to bet on it because it's probably not going to come true. But my dream came true, so I do believe in that. And also, I actually got to catch up with Adam Kirby after. I thought, thanks, Chris.
He's a horrible man.
Horrible. I caught up with Adam Kirby after the win, and it was amazing. He was going from each kind of TV place to go to and have all his interviews, and he came to us last, and he was so emotional about it. And it obviously hasn't sunk in from him yet because he's waited years for this, and it suddenly happened, and then you're thrust into the limelight, and you don't actually get a minute to sit. And for anyone who didn't see it, it actually took him quite a long time to come out the weighing room, didn't it, Ed? And actually, he said to us, he just needed a second to sit and take it all in, that he's just won the Cazoo Derby. What do you think?
I love the fact that you got him to say that. The standing of After Hours. I saw your show last night. You got Frankie on there.
Oh, mate, we don't mess. Ed.
Where was the question about what was the show you would get asking Rachel Blackmore and Willie Mullins and Henry de Bromhead about at Cheltenham?
It was Bridgerton, but now I feel like we've moved away from Bridgerton. That was a few months ago. Now it's more kind of like, did you watch the Line of Duty finale, etc., etc. But yeah, I mean, we didn't kind of get on to asking those questions this time with our guests. Joseph last night, he was just more a Love Island fan, wasn't he? He didn't really watch anything else. He's a reality TV boy. It's Joseph.
Sent a message to Kevin Blake yesterday and saying, just warn Joseph, he's going on with two people who could have some fun with him tonight. But they're all Aidan the same, Donica and the girls as well. They're all really good fun, those guys. Good sports, good for the game. And I watched, because I try and, the night before, Hughesy, when I said goodnight to you at my bedtime at about 8 o'clock, to get away from the socks and sliders, I actually just try and do something completely different. I watched the last episode of Mayor of Easttown, and I didn't sleep well, I'll be honest. Kate Winslet. It's very good.
I've never heard of it.
She's brilliant in it, but it haunted me last night. It was not good watching. I should have watched something else.
What's it like, The Woman in Black?
She's a detective. she's a detective. She's a detective in a small town in America. Murders and twists. It's absolutely brilliant. But next year I won't watch that on the eve of the Derby if I want to sleep well. Honestly,
don't do that.
gave me nightmares. And I didn't dream about a day or after that, I can assure you.
Talking of the Derby, let's get back to it. Let's see the VT and the interview with Adam Kirby, because it was so great to catch up with him afterwards. Adam, you are the Cazoo Derby winning jockey. You've waited a long time for this. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's great. Listen, I waited a long time to ride in the Derby, not knowing when number. It's a fantastic day. Like I said, I must have said it a million times now. Full credit to Charlie Appleby and all of his team, but more importantly, him. He's a gentleman to ride for. Fills you up with confidence, has full faith in you, and I can't thank him enough. He's the man here, and it's full credit to him.
And also full credit to you as well, actually, because you had a really bad stall to start out with as well. How did it feel for people who don't understand what that is like to ride in a race? Just talk us through it a little bit.
The draw is a disadvantage being down except for Burnham to get a decent position, but with that horse, he just takes him half a furlong to get in the top gear. So when I was able just to let him roll along for a furlong and a half to get a good pitch, then he chilled really well and he took me into the straight beautifully, and he's got a gear change as well, so his horse was a lot class.
It was amazing watching you come around Tapner corner. I was actually getting quite emotional. I was rooting you on all the way. When did you know you had that?
Well, you never know you've got a race until you pass the line, but I knew when he hit the front he'd take some catching now.
Yeah, and also you've got your little boy. Is he watching from home?
With little Charlie, he'll be watching. Hopefully little Evie is as well, and Megs will be there. But and hopefully our mother has watched it. She'll be pleased. And my sister, hopefully she's managed to get out of work and watch it as well. Hopefully.
Oh, the whole family will be so proud of you.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, Adam. And celebrations tonight?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to go and enjoy and let that reflect in what you've just done. Huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adam.
What a lovely guy.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a win.
I know. Amazing. I'm
Good interview, that.
so emotional.
That was a nice
Thanks,
interview.
Ed.
Yeah, I
my best.
Where was
left
Hughes?
Rosie. I left Rosie to it.
Yeah, we did ask him where he was. And
Quite right. Good decision.
having a drink?
I was drowning my sorrows in Southern Lights.
Yeah.
I think I was. I was trying to blow him down this home straight. I'm trying to get him home. He was still running. But yeah, no, what lovely interview that.
It was good fun.
It shows the kind of like, with sport, it kind of shows you're not just, that was quite a nice mellow interview. I'm saying that there's a lot to take in. You've just won the Derby.
Yeah, I don't think he'd
you
actually
can feel quite flustered.
Yet.
Yeah, I think tonight when he sits down, like he said, celebrations, he'll be sat tuned in. But
yeah,
Ed, let's have a little chat quick. Just briefly, Ed, for that, that show you were just on about just a moment ago. What channel is that on? I might actually watch that.
I'm not going to tell you because I used to work for them.
Oh, Sky.
Something Atlantic. No, Sky Atlantic.
Oh,
Sky Atlantic. I've got a question for you, Hughesy. Can I ask you a question, Hughesy?
Please, mate. With pleasure.
I've got a tree here, right? How did that get there? Did someone plant it? What happened? How do trees?
Ed,
do you remember what I taught you last night?
Right, I'm just going to say, if anyone had seen an oak tree like I did last night, right? Man, I genuinely thought it was it looks like a pumpkin tree or something, like it wouldn't grow very big. I can't get my head round the fact that there was an oak tree and in a few years' time that'll be 20 meters in the air and massive, and it was in a little plant pot.
I'm just thrilled that I could teach you something.
Yeah, I was fascinated.
It was great.
Is that an oak tree behind you, Ed, or a conker tree?
It's a very good question. I don't know.
He doesn't know.
Ed, we've got some other questions for you that you might know the answer to. What was your highlight of the last 2 days?
Highlight of the last 2 days. Having a crowd back was magic. I haven't. Last year, Rosie, was one of the lowest days I've had in my presenting career. I was terrible. I presented terribly. If I could have one day back in the last 12 months, it'd be the Derby last year. I got it totally wrong. I felt it was just a desolate day with nobody there, and marshals keeping people out with the fencing, and then Serpentine won a Derby I just didn't enjoy. And I got it wrong. I got the tone wrong because people at home didn't notice any difference, and they were thinking, crikey, we've seen another Shergar here with Serpentine. Turns out it wasn't a great Derby, but at the time I got it badly wrong. And today I really enjoyed the show. I think we got it right.
Yeah.
You redeemed yourself, Ed, massively.
Ed, I actually think the coverage coverage has been fantastic last few days. So racing highlight though, I imagine you're going to say Snowfall, right?
Yeah, I liked Oh This Is Us today because I remember interviewing his owner on Zoom last year. He's a real character who watched it in a departure lounge in Portugal in a hurry to get home for obvious reasons. So I loved Oh This Is Us. I loved seeing Hayley win. I laugh driving. I stopped at Fleet Services, as I always do, to just see what social media said. I just love some of the comments about me and Hayley Turner, because I think Hayley Turner's great, as you know. She's so likable. But the Derby was cool with Adam Kirby, but Snowfall was just that wow factor. That would be my memory of the last 2 days, the Cazoo Derby Festival, Snowfall and Frankie. Frankie's magic.
Yeah,
you guys did a great interview with him afterwards, but Snowfall to win that by 16 lengths. You ask Tommo in a minute how good that is to see a horse win by 16 lengths. Made Shergar look pedestrian with the distance he won by. That was pretty special to witness that yesterday. And then and the cheer for Frankie and everything that came afterwards. We've not seen anything like that for a very long time. And I like seeing human beings back racing again. And that includes you, Rosie Tapner, back on a race course. It's great to see.
It's so good. It's so good. It's been the best few days.
Ed, honestly, you've been fantastic. That's Ed. That's all for you. That's all we got time for, because we've actually got Tommo waiting in the wings. And
you're A-lister. You save your best guest till second. Always save your best guest till second.
Yeah, got to keep the viewers interested, Ed, didn't we? Got to keep them engaged. You got a pizza to cook though. Let's be honest. I think was that your daughter I saw earlier? She's probably getting hungry.
That was my 15-year-old daughter nicking my refreshment, we'll call it at this stage, because we don't want to condone underage drinking, do we, Hughesy? And the first pizza I made in my little oven turned into a calzone, so I can only do better this time.
Absolutely love that. No, Ed, thanks for joining us, legend.
Thanks, Ed.
Till next time. Good man. Cheers, Ed. What a boy.
It's great.
Mr. Ed. Take care.
Mr. Ed. It's Tommo as well. Look at it. When one departs, another arrives. This is like Enable and Snowfall.
We're just getting them round and round and round. It's really great, isn't it? Let's get to Tommo then.
It's just a reoccurrence of talent. Tommo, how are you, my friend? Long time.
Well, are you well? I thought you were.
Thought you were. That's your icon. That's just iconic, Tommo.
It is. It is terrible. Good to see Mr. Ed, by the way. Full marks to him and the team today and yesterday. An outstanding program. Full marks them. You know, the production team, the presenters, absolutely outstanding. It was great for racing to have. It was marvelous. So well done, guys. Superb.
Good job, Tommo. Fully complimentary. That's why I like. To be fair, I'm not going to be biased, but the ITV racing coverage was phenomenal.
It was absolutely brilliant. I was watching it up at the box, and it was.
Thanks, Rosie.
I have to say, well done, guys. It was really,
well
really good. Let's get on to Shergar. 40 years Shergar won the Derby. And Tommo, you actually had quite an agonising involvement in the Shergar kidnapping, which we will talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think before we kick on with your experience, Tommo, because this is fascinating. This is actually, a lot of this is news to me. So I'm going to be fully gripped on what you have to say. Not like I'm not on a regular, Tommo. I'm always fully gripped on what you have to say. But we're going to run a VT now of Tommo talking about Shergar, obviously an absolute legend, then ended in just tragedy, really. But Tommo, you were obviously part of that, which we want to talk about in a moment. So let's run this VT. 40 years since Shergar won the Derby, and you're going to tell the story after this, Tommo.
Okay.
Coming up to the line, Shergar is going to win it at the line. Shergar is the winner, very easy winner.
And it was just amazing. Everyone was almost stunned. We were cheering, obviously. There was a massive crowd here.
You were always country.
Well, I was just a passenger on a very good horse.
And then the horse came back into the winner's enclosure, led by His Highness the Aga Khan. And it was just one of the greatest sights you'll ever see. I will never, ever forget it.
That was the biggest winning margin ever recorded since records were first kept in 1805. Is Shergar the wonder horse?
He followed it up in the Irish Derby. Lester Pickett rode him that day. He followed up in the King George as well. And then he was syndicated to become a stallion. And he was then the world's most valuable horse. He was syndicated for £10 million, which in those days was probably like 60, 70, 80, 100 million now. And then he went over to Ireland. And then, of course, it all happened.
Chris, before we actually talk about Shergar, just talk to us about what you just said. Tragedy.
I
Did you mean travesty?
Yeah, I said I meant tragic and travesty together.
Well done.
So I said tragedy.
You said
It's not actually a word, but
sorry.
it's not a word, but Tommo knew what I meant, and that's all it meant.
I knew what you meant. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah.
We're on some kind of way. But Tommo, right? This is fascinating. Now, just tell everybody your involvement within this Shergar story. Just take it away.
Well, basically, I was in bed, staying at a hotel. I was presenting a program called Thames Sport for Thames TV, and I got a call about 2:00 in the morning. I was staying at the White House, not the White House in America, but the White House Hotel off Regent's Park. And the guy said, "Oh, well, you know, horse has been kidnapped." I thought it was a drunk. So put the phone down, and it rang back, and it was a guy from the Press Association, and said the kidnappers of Shergar have asked for you, Lord Oaksey, and another guy to come and try and negotiate for the release of the horse. And what? You know, it was unbelievable. So obviously I couldn't get back to sleep. I was talking to the producers, the directors. So it was agreed that we should fly over to Belfast. And when we got there, Chris, you know what it's like, you two, surrounded by the world's press. I'm not used to it. And the world's press were there. What are you going to do to save Shergar and all this? So we were taken to the Europa Hotel. And the Europa Hotel in those days was the most bombed hotel in Europe. There was a big slit up the window. I now forget what I walked in. And as soon as I walked in, there's the tannoy said, "Phone call for Mr. Thompson." So I picked up the hotel phone. And that was the voice I'll never forget. It wasn't a nice voice. It was a voice that said, "We're watching you from the other side of the street." And I was looking out. Now, this is the height of the troubles in Belfast. It was a frightening place. "And we want you to get rid of the police and the press." Well, there's 500 people taking photos. And they said, "Drive to 30 miles outside of Belfast." They took us, they gave us the instructions. So we ran through the kitchen, got rid of the press, jumped in a car, and actually drove, and we got lost. And it was very frightening. 5 guys with balaclavas and machine guns jump out in front of us. So we obviously stop. And one guy comes around to my side and says with the gun, "Wind the window down." So in the old days, we had to wind the window down. And he pointed the gun at me, a machine gun. All I could see were 2 eyes and a mouth because he had a mask on. And he said, "Are you Derek Thompson?" And I was in the front seat. I said, "Yes." I thought we were going to be killed. I thought it was, you know, the terrorists. And he said, "We're the police." I said, "Thank for that." He said, "Drive in, run in." And we're in and it was Jerry Maxwell's house. And it was there that we had a number of conversations on the phone. And Chris, the strange thing was, at midnight, I kept the guy talking for 1 minute, 35 seconds. And apparently in those days, if you could keep him talking a minute and a half, they could trace the call. Yeah. And I said to the policeman on my left with the headphones on, I said, did we trace the call? He said, "No, I'm sorry to say the man who traced the calls went off shift at midnight." So, and then at 7:10 in the morning, we got the call. The horse has had an accident. He's dead. And that's the last we heard of Shergar. It was horrible. I can still remember it 40 years on, every second of it to this day. It was not a nice thing to happen. And since then, lots of theories have been put forward. I have my own theory, of course, but it was tragic. A wonderful horse, brilliant winner of the Derby, and sadly no longer with us.
Tommo, can I ask, what is your own theory?
Well, obviously he was taken by the IRA because they came and said that. I have heard theories, and it's not nice. You know, he had a big white blaze on his face.
Yeah.
The most famous horse in the world. So he was driven away, but you know, he was recognizable. Everyone was looking for him, etc., etc. So you'd recognize Shergar. So I heard they put boot polish over the blaze. The boot polish burnt into the skin. He went wild with the pain, and that's when he was put down. That is my theory. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he had a better end than that. But to this day, 40 years on, I can still remember vividly. It was weird. It was horrible, and the savvy, no happy ending.
No, it's a proper. It's just chilling, isn't it? It's a chilling old story. But I mean, to be involved in it like you were to those heights, I mean, that must still haunt you in a way, and you must still have dreams about that, Tom, or nightmares.
I do to this very, very day. And every time it's the Derby and we talk about it, a number of programs have been done about it, and I try and come and talk about it. But the thing is, the horse, you know, it's all right us saying, you know, this was that and that was that, and, you know, it was a horrible time, and it was. Yeah. And, you know, whether they were right, whether they're wrong, that's not, it was a horse. And all Irish love the horses. And it was just so sad. He'd won the Derby by 10 lengths. The jockey on the second thought he'd won because he couldn't see the horse that far in front of him. Yeah. It's true. John Mathias, he was short-sighted. He thought he'd won. Walter Swinburne, 19 years of age. The Aga Khan, you know, one of the most famous men in the world. Sir Michael Stout. And I tell you what I heard the other day. Jimmy Scott, the head lad, was saying, by the way, it was Dickie McCabe. You know Dickie McCabe who looked after Shergar? It was his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Dickie.
Oh, happy birthday.
67 yesterday. He's older than me.
Go on, Dickie.
And apparently he got loose 4 days before the Derby, and it never came out. And he ran down the road, and they caught him near Henry Cecil stable at the top of Warren Hill. But apparently, just imagine that, the favourite for the Derby getting loose and running loose for about 20 minutes. And it never came out. So incredible.
He may have won by a few more lengths then. It's such a tragic story, but let's lighten the mood a little bit. We've got some questions for you, Tommo.
We're gonna have some fun with you, Tommo, because you are a fun character.
Oh no.
I can imagine, Tommo, I can actually imagine you breaking loose 4 days before your birthday or an event and running wild.
Absolutely. Well, yes, I've seen you in action, so yes.
I've seen you in action. Had a pretty sight, I'll tell you, Tommo. Had a pretty sight, bless him. Go on, you kick it off. Okay. A few fun questions.
Tommo, if you were on a desert island, who would you take? Bob Champion or Chris Hughes?
Now, that is a very good question. Because Bob Champion is sitting through here now.
Is he with you? I'll get Bob on. Hang on. Bob's my brother. Come on, Bob.
Champ, can you come through? I've got my brother Howard here. Here's Bob.
Chris here he is.
I'll tell you what. How are you?
Are you all right?
Bob, I'll tell you, that red collar.
Yourself, then?
I've never am I behaving myself. Bob, meet Rosie. Lovely
Bob,
lady.
Lovely
Bob.
to meet you.
Rosie, oh Rosie.
Where's your morning suit then? And your hat?
I'm relaxing now. But Bob, I was about to say Rosie was like that vet who treated you when she was...
Oh, it suits you. Oh, I see. Very nice.
Bob, can I just ask Bob a quick question? Tommo?
Of course you can. Yeah.
Bob, I was just going to say, Rosie looks very familiar to that lovely vet that night when she overchecked your testicles.
Thank you.
What did you say? Good job this is a recording.
It's not. We got a lovely audience, but Bob's told me the story. But yeah, no, I mean, it was Bob had this beautiful woman looked after him.
That sounds great. Thanks.
That's why we still got the great man alive. But you well, Bob?
Yeah, I'm in great form, mate.
Looking good, brother. Looking good. Yeah. He looks wow. You got a tan. He's always tanned.
He's always tan. He always gets a tan. I do. And by the way, Chris, he's raised.
It's a real tan.
Yeah, but it's a real tan. He doesn't put it on like you, Chris. And by the way, he's raised nearly £100,000 for the Bob Champion Cancer Trust.
Hopefully we get there.
So
yeah, Bob, that's amazing. I came on the walk with him. I did 6 miles with him up at Jackdaw's Castle as well. That was a good crack, Bob. It was.
Guys, I feel like you're just catching up as mates.
No, we are. This is like us. All we haven't got is a pint.
Just double checking. You're aware that people are still
Bob said that you had to slow down, Chris. Is that right? Because you couldn't keep up.
No, do you know what? Bob went far enough in front. He was a bit like Shergar, to be fair. I couldn't keep up with him. I couldn't keep up. I actually did 3 miles and I thought, God, I'm going to have to struggle to get 3 more. But Bob, no, fair play. He's done all those miles raising money. Bob Champion Cancer Trust is, phenomenal. So well done, Bob. We'll get that target, boy.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. Have a good day.
Well done, Bob. Good lad. Oh, he's some boy.
Tommo,
Tommo, back to you for a sec. Get back in your office, Tommo.
I'm with you.
When you live in a mansion like Tommo, it takes you a while to walk from room to room.
Office,
Well, exactly.
No, I'm actually, true story, I'm at my brother's house we're in North Yorkshire at the moment, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see outside. It's gorgeous out there.
Oh, it's lovely.
Whitby's about 10 miles away. So
Oh,
he's got some horses. And my brother Howard and his partner Tina Jackson, so they're tucking into their tea at the moment. I've had to leave my fish and chips halfway through so I could talk to you guys.
That's very kind.
It's a good job we got microwaves,
Yeah,
Tommo, I'll tell
we'll
you.
let you go in a minute. We'll let you go back to your fish and
You
chips.
haven't actually answered the question.
No.
Bob Champion or Chris Hughes on a desert island?
Right. This is a very difficult one, Chris. I would have to take, hang on, I would have to take.
Oh, you can take me on as well.
Oh,
Take
now
me
you're
instead.
talking. Let's go. Book it now.
Look at now.
Perfect.
He's with Rosie. Yeah, you're gonna take Rosie. Favorite race you've commentated on, because you're still doing it, Tommo.
I'm
Still
there.
there, aren't you? No, you're
Yeah, I'm
there.
still here.
Locking me
I'm
out, Tommo. Don't do that.
No, it doesn't matter what race you're commentating on. And Chris, I told you this a few years ago when you started. It doesn't matter whether you're riding, commentating, or going. That it's the next meeting that's the most important. And it doesn't matter whether you're at Hexham, Sedgefield, York, Epsom, where you are today, doing the Derby. It's a great honour to do the Derby. But it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're racing. That's the main thing.
100%.
So you've given Chris a bit of advice on racing. Have you given him any advice on relationships? Because he was talking about your daughter earlier, Tommo.
Oh, yes. Yes. You keep bringing my daughter, India. And she
keep ringing her. She keeps ringing me. India, bless her.
Oh, you got a little
I
bit
love it.
No, I'm sunburned. Don't worry
of
about
course
that.
it is.
Yeah, Tommo, how is India? How is your daughter? I haven't spoken to
India
her.
is very well. As you know, she's the best cook in the world. So I think we got to get her on this social media thing because her food is outstanding. You should come over and have a meal at the house in Newmarket. She is incredible.
Oh,
So
that
she's
sounds like a date.
She's like
You
a
just
young,
set up a date between India and Chris.
like a young Nigella Lawson, isn't it?
yes, exactly.
Nigella.
So I'll go round to Nigella's and you, I love it.
That's the only female cook I could think of on the spot.
Well done. Very good.
Tommo, last question just before we leave you. What would you spend your last pound on? Your last pound, what would you spend it on? If you had £1 left.
You know, that is a very, very good question. Would it be a bottle of Lucasade? Would it be, I've just had the best fish and chips from the Priory Fish and Chip Shop in Gisborough. They were absolutely incredible. Or should I put it on the good thing in the last at York on Saturday? What do you think?
Yeah, put it on a good thing and then multiply.
Multiply, and then you can buy lots of Lucasade.
There we are.
Exactly.
Tommo, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you tonight. And thank you for talking to us about Shergar and your involvement with that.
Great to see you guys. Great show. Keep it going.
Cheers,
Thank
Tommo,
you.
top man.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your fish and chips.
I will. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He's great.
Oh, he's do you know what? He's a bundle of fun.
Yeah.
Tommo. He's always charismatic. He's always happy. He's always cheerful. And what a story.
And great to have Bob on as well.
Yeah, we had the best.
Shergar, Tommo, Bob, you. It's been great.
We had a couple of racing legends there. You guys at home should look at this and think, you're privileged. couple of racing legends.
Don't point at us for that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Don't mean us.
But what an Epsom Derby. Cazoo,
great.
Great sponsors, a jockey club. This is Epsom After Hours. It's been amazing. It's been emotional. Rosie, thank you for joining me.
Thank
Co-hosting.
you for having me. It's been great. Yeah, it's
You've
been
enjoyed
lovely
yourself, haven't
to be here and actually be back on a course and be around everyone and actually see people again, because it's been quite no one's been around, so it's been really nice to get back. I did have quite a few questions for you.
What?
Because you asked me quite a few questions.
Before we leave, you got me a question?
I think before we leave,
go on, anything.
I've got a few questions for you. Just a bit of a quick fire.
Yep.
We had a few burgers earlier.
Yeah.
Ketchup or mayo?
Mayo.
Good, I agree.
Mayo, baby.
Current celebrity crush?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence or me?
No, you can't do that.
That's painful.
You look great in my top hat, though.
Thants.
No, but you should be both, yeah.
Okay. Phone call or text?
Voice notes are different.
Voice
I
notes.
don't like phone calls. My manager would disagree, so I ring him about 50 times a day, making sure he's working. But voice notes. He's actually in the background. So yeah, voice notes.
Voice notes. Bath or shower?
Shower.
Really?
Unless I've
don't
got
want to
candles.
get home at the end of the day. Candles?
I
Sorry,
can't have a bath without a candle.
Bubbles?
Yeah.
You're a bubble candle kind of guy?
I have to have bubbles
Lights off, light
just
on?
to cover up. Lights off.
In the bath.
Lights off. Yeah.
last one. This is a really weird one. Horses or cows? Because Chris was discussing earlier about how I said, what is your most favourite animal? And he came up with cows.
No, I love horses, of course. Like, obviously, I love Annie Mac. She's our filly, but
cows?
Mate, cows are brilliant. Have you ever been licked by a cow? Like, if you've ever, no, sorry. The reason I'm saying, if you've ever been licked by a cow, mate, it's like it's an exfoliation device. If a cow's licked me on the cheek before,
I'm so sorry I asked this
They've
question.
got gristly tongues, but if you'll know if you've been licked by a cow, it's got a gristly tongue, and it's like
your skin's so nice.
I
lick your face
I get exfoliated by a cow. No, but they're lovely.
Chris uses skincare. Everyone.
Can I say something just to defend the cow? They have actually. This is I think this is a proven fact that I may be wrong. The cow has more personality, believe it or not, than any other animal in the world, and that is like, you wouldn't believe that, no one else will, but if you Google cow personality bigger world on Google, it will come up with that fact. It's a fact. Cows have plenty of personality.
It's a good okay. How did you even Google? Why did you even Google that?
I just know I love cow. We have cows at home.
Do you have you named them all?
No,
so you don't love them that much.
No, I do. We just don't really name them. There's too many, but they're cute.
I feel like on that note, we should probably end this quickfire. But thank you for having me.
No, thank you, Rosie.
Great.
Rosie Tapner, ladies and gents, the Jockey Club. Thank you so much, Epsom. What a treat. We can leave you with this beautiful sunset. The sun's actually over there, but pretend it's back there. What a sunset! What a derby. Take care. Enjoy the highlights.
The 242nd edition of the world's most famous horse race, not just the world's most celebrated horse race, but its most important as well. Today we long for a sparkling performance on which to found a whole new generation.
And they're away. First race on Cazoo Derby Day. King Frankel is now staying on with purpose, but very late in the day as they race inside the final furlong. It's Great Gadian from Solent Gateway, and out wide on the near side, King Frankel, mate. Oh, it's tight, Solent Gateway in between them. This is a great display of front running here from Parents' Prayer and Oisin Murphy. It's Parents' Prayer who wins the Princess Elizabeth Stakes. And they're off. For this, the Cazoo Derby Stakes. Century Dream by 2 lengths. Oh, this is us. Is now scampering after him. Gets to within 3/4 of a length. Then Belron. Century Dream. Oh, this is us. Joining him. That's tight. Here's Mockatil now with a run switched out wide, followed by Record Mission and then Blue de Vega down this near side. Get Boosting is running on well with Mondam Edge, and then coming through is Only Smoothing as well. But Mockatil has kicked away and wins the dash. And they're off for the 2021 Cazoo Derby. And now a Dayar goes on up the far side from Hurricane Lane. It's Godolphin 1 and 2. Bolshoi Ballet is not finding anything, and it's a Dayar that leads the Derby field 3 lengths clear, and it's going to be a shock result. A Dayar and Adam Kirby. Adam Kirby for a first classic success, and a Dayar is pouring on and striding clear to win the Cazoo Derby. As they race up towards the line, Midnight's Legacy on the near side of Soto Sizzler, and it's Midnight's Legacy and William Buick are going to be just too strong. Out wide, Edge Jalab is finishing off well from Aberama Gold, and Kimmy 5 to the far side. Musica is being worn down by Edge Jalab. The post is coming. Edge Jalab on the near side and gets up. Edge Jalab wins.